love that even though you did make me feel like an option for a second, you were just doing what you're supposed to do.
Hey guys, today we're talking episodes 4 through 6 of Love is Blind, Season 7.
That's right, on their way to Mexico. But I gotta
Cabo.
tell you, dude, man, like, after we saw the UK version of this, dude, I'm spoiled on Greece, man. Like, the American version just gets screwed. Cabo ain't that great. Mexico just isn't great.
Cabo's pretty damn nice.
Compared to Greece, it ain't nothing, man.
Greece is cool.
When you're watching the Cabo stuff, Greece is just way better. Like, the American people get screwed by having to go to Mexico every year, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Cabo's pretty nice.
All right, Greece is better, man.
But anyways, we pick up where we left off, and Leo is like kind of begging Hannah, like, don't give up on him.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about this?
I hated every second I had to hear Leo's voice, and Hannah sitting there falling for it. Like, it sounded like she was falling for it.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him at this point and hadn't watched him, but I could listen, and she was just like, "Oh, now you're really messing with me." And like, I'm torn. Like, no, you knew your answer.
But then at the camera, she's like, this guy's manipulative, yada yada yada. It's like, hell yeah, he is.
Super
it's
manipulative.
Like, this guy's one of those freaking art dealers. Just like, hey man, you love that piece, right? You don't got no money. That's okay. You can go take a loan. Come on, man. You got to spend
working his magic.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, and he's like, what if I get down on one
man.
knee? And I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah, he's like, what if I told you I love you and I get down on one knee? Give me one more day. And it's like, wait, are you ready to tell her you love her?
But he's not quitting on Brittany either. So I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Will you see me tomorrow?
Sounds like this is a solution to his problem, sort of.
Yeah,
I can't believe she agreed to see him the next day. Just say no.
And then he finally, then the next day, finally, he spins it, almost making it sound like.
Oh my God, it was a complete 180
Oh, dude,
the next
totally.
day.
Ridiculous, man.
Well, she goes back and she's like, I tried to break up with the dude, he wouldn't let me.
Did you actually break up with Leo or no? Girl, I tried. Like, he wouldn't let me. I hate that.
They're like, did you do it? She's like, you fucking wouldn't let me do it.
I mean, he asked her multiple times, though, like, are you saying there's no chance or you're in love with him? And she doesn't.
He's like, but just tell me. Is there no chance? She's like, there's really no chance. But okay, just tell me though.
But what are you saying?
Like, are you saying there's no chance? I love Nick and Nick loves me and you didn't show me. But are you saying there's no chance? Like, she should have just not tried to reason with the guy. She should have said, no, there is no chance. Exactly. And then as he kept talking, she should have just turned around and closed the door.
It just seemed so obvious at this point that she should have been like, I'm going with Nick.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Nick is telling her everything at this point, right?
Oh yeah, he's telling her everything she wants to hear. And then finally they re-meet back up, and then it comes to that anyway, right? But then he makes it try to sound like, oh, well, we're mutually breaking up with each other here.
Oh my God,
it's like, is that really what happened, bro? I don't know if it's quite that way.
He came in all apologetic. I shouldn't have treated you that way. Whatever. That did not sound sincere. Again, still not watching, so I don't know his body language. I need to go back and actually watch his body language during that. But I did hear everything he was saying, and it did not sound genuine, at least from the perspective of how I know how he talks and how he's just so persuasive. And I knew something was coming from it because he was sounding very, I'm on your side. I'm going to try to persuade you with something. And then he's telling her, Nick's a great guy. He's going to be a great fit for you. He is your guy. And Brittany is my girl. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like exactly. 12 hours ago.
He's like, look, I'm totally in love with Brittany. And
can you talk to her for me?
Can you tell Brittany how much I love her and talk to her? And then she's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? I'm not going to do that shit. He's like, oh, I'm not trying to talk about Brittany here. It's like, what?
Oh my God.
What?
I literally paused the video at this time. Again, not watching, just listening. Paused it, picked up my phone, texted. It's like 5 a.m. I'm on a train and I'm texting people. Like, the audacity of this man to ask her to like convince Brittany to say yes to him. It blew my mind. I have no idea where he gets the courage, the audacity is the only word I can think of to actually like talk to people that way.
I just don't know where the end game is. Like, how long are you going to keep this up? At one point, you got to choose one, right?
Exactly.
Well, this is what I think happened. He was going to keep him going, and then I think he was always going to choose Brittany.
Probably.
But
he wanted to win the game.
He wanted to be
time.
the one to choose. He wanted to be the one to end it. So he begged Hannah to give him more time and then came in the next day. And that's why he made that comment. We're mutually breaking up with each other. No, you just took 12 hours to accept the fact that she broke up with you.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because he is having the conversation and Nick is a part of the conversation. How he's feeling and how things are going down.
And he's like giving props to Nick. Oh, Nick's a great dude. He really does love you. You know, he's an awesome guy. He's perfect fit for you. And it's like, bro.
This guy is like, he is the walking red flag at this point.
Totally.
So Brittany comes in and she reads her little note. What do we think of that note? And it was kind of weird, right? Because it's kind of like crapping on
as soon
the
as
situation.
the first thing she says when she walks in, she's like, "Oh, how the tables have turned."
Yeah. but for what? Like, really,
exactly.
for what?
Exactly, for nothing.
Because she reads this letter to him, and I'm listening to the words, the tone.
Now
the
you're going in
shakiness.
blind until people couple up, so you don't know what anyone looks
So
like.
I'm
You're
not seeing
anything.
her, but I can hear her voice reading it, and then she has to pause a little bit because she gets emotional, and it's like you could tell. The words that she said was that the girls were telling her, like, don't let him do this to you. Like, he's manipulating you and whatever. And then she feels so embarrassed to admit that she would be the second choice and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, is she trying to, like, make this decision because now she's embarrassed and what other people are thinking? Or is she thinking for herself and, like, how she feels? And at the end of the letter, she says, at the end of the day, like, you hurt me and I'm still hurt.
Right.
And I was like, way to go. Way to stand in your power.
And then
for
3
like
seconds
60
later.
seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, at this point, she's in it for the money. She at least wants to see what this guy looks like, right? So,
And this guy
God.
proposes 15 seconds later,
Yeah,
and I was like,
exactly.
"What
like-
happened about the letter?"
He's like, cool letter. I got a question to ask you.
Will you marry me? Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, this ain't a good letter."
When I saw all the girls this morning, I feel like they think I'm settling for you. Or that I'm just fine with being your second choice.
But like he's proposing, so I'm kind of like confused.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And she says yes.
Of course she does. Of course she does.
Well, they don't even have like a further discussion. What about all that stuff I just said?
Yeah.
It's like it's forgotten about as soon as it's over.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
She's picturing the ring. She's
She's picturing the freaking the damn shopping trips and all that crap, you know.
I don't know.
So these two, like, it gets revealed. They see each other. What'd you think of that, especially seeing them for the first time?
Okay, so first of all, I said I thought he was short because he gave off little man syndrome, but he's tall.
Yeah.
He's ugly. He's not attractive in any way. And I don't know. Like, this is one of those things about being blind, right? Had he been the nicest, sweetest guy, like what's his name from the London one that everybody loves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
funeral
funeral
director.
guy,
Yeah. Like my art director, funeral director. Like, had he been the guy that everybody loved, maybe I could have found him attractive, I guess. But I don't know. I think I'm biased towards the way he looks at this point because of his personality. So I didn't think he was attractive at all. She's exactly what I pictured. Maybe she's a little older. I guess I don't know how old she is, but I pictured
32,
her.
I think.
I
Yeah,
pictured
she's
her
32.
looking a lot younger than she did. Not that she looks old,
32.
but I pictured her looking a lot younger, like could pass for a college student, kind of young.
Right.
But
He's 30.
she's very beautiful. Everything, the meeting and everything, you could tell she was not into him.
Oh, no,
she was
she
not
was-
attracted to him.
She saw like a dollar sign.
Exactly.
And
On
I
his
was
face.
like,
She just covered his face up with a freaking dollar.
And here-
You were like, just wait till he sees me.
Yeah. I was like, what an idiot.
And here's when I knew it wasn't going to work, and here's when I knew that's all it was going to be. It was when she says, okay, well, what about when we go on our trip? She's like, even if we don't go to Mexico, we're going to Miami, right? And he's like, yes, we're going to go to Miami if we don't go to Mexico. And I didn't know what that meant at first.
She wanted her free trip to Miami,
Yeah.
and bottom line is she did not want to go to Mexico. She didn't want any of this shit on camera. Like, she's like, no, I'm not into this guy, but I'll get a free trip to Miami.
the only way this relationship works is he constantly spoils her, and
Yeah.
she's
Oh, yeah.
like a trophy wife to him, essentially.
Which
exactly.
he has the money to do, apparently. I don't know.
Apparently.
I don't know if you knew about that, if you heard that, but he does have a lot of money.
Well, and he says he don't want
Yes.
people to know, but that's like his selling point,
Exactly.
honestly. So
Every
he's
time.
probably
Yeah.
smart putting that out there, because what else does the guy have going on?
So I'm interested if they're going to be on the reunion to know. Did they
happened?
break up because she just couldn't fake it for the money at this point?
I think she
I
was
think so.
questioning that.
Brain is not computing. Like, holy shit. This stranger just asked me to marry him.
Or did he get tired of having to keep throwing the money at her?
Yeah, well, here's the thing with Brittany. She even said, before she went to meet him, she said, look, I'm actually, she's like, yeah, is love blind? She's like, I'm still a pretty vain person. Mm-hmm. So here's what she wants. She wants a super rich guy to take care of her, but he's got to look good too, right? She wants both. And unfortunately, she didn't get that with this cat. So
no.
Yeah, and I mean, Hannah is like disturbed by the whole conversation too. How it ends, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
She should be. It was a disturbing conversation. Like she should have just left the room.
Well, she's like, I'm not going to tell Brittany this, but she does go tell Brittany everything. So.
Well, she said, I'm not going to go in there and talk you up to Brittany and all that. So, but then, she
didn't really relay the whole conversation.
Right. Yeah, but she kind of does, and she tells Brittany what he said. That he wanted relayed, right, exactly. So she kind of does do it.
Yeah, exactly, and at that point, Brittany should have been like, "Okay, no way." But again, she's in it for the money.
Because she was manipulated.
Well, she was actually kind of happy about that, though.
Yeah.
So she wasn't like, "Oh, this is a red flag."
Well, she was happy about it. She's like, "Ooh, the tables have turned. It's all on me now." It was like,
and now she feels like she has the power in the relationship, so she has the power over a guy with money.
Right.
I actually thought these two deserved each other, and I was hoping to see more of this because I'm like, can't wait to see this train wreck.
Right.
And then we get that notice on the screen that the show has decided not to make them one of the 6 couples that go to Mexico, and I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and the thing is, it wasn't the show's decision. I guarantee you that was Brittany saying, I'm not going to be on TV with this dude anymore. I'm not going to Mexico with this guy, but I'm going to get a free trip to Miami out with this guy.
And I wondered that too. I was like, why?
It'd be great for the show.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I was like, absolutely. Why would you not choose this couple? This is the couple we all want to see go down, right?
Guarantee that was on Brittany.
So, and then when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's probably it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, what do we got on this show? And that was probably the train wreck was I was most looking forward to. Probably.
There's more train wrecks coming.
Yeah, apparently. But let's move on to Bowden and Marissa. Like, he's not into Breaking Bad.
Dude, oh my God.
Yeah. How do you not like
I
Breaking
wrote
Bad?
that down.
Exactly,
I thought that was sad.
What a great show.
They agree on it. She's not into it either.
Yeah. And, but unfortunately for Bowden, the deal breaker was he's not a Cancer Leo.
Yeah. Well, they get into politics, which, I don't like hearing about politics on a show like this, but I am glad they discuss politics because it probably is important
it's important for a relationship. Sure.
Yeah, because that can break people up.
Politics, religion, money, and family.
Right, you got to talk about
and kids.
And it's so funny when, I see stuff is like, oh, liberal guys are just, soft.
Pussies.
Yeah, pussies. It's.
So I am kind of part of me is like, I don't want to hear this, but I am kind of glad they discussed it. So it's nice to kind of see.
Yeah. Well, again, this is DC, so politics are.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And man, I thought these guys are really clicking.
Oh, so did I. They were. They were totally clicking.
Yeah.
And then all it took was freaking her little date with Ramses, and he said, I'm a Cancer Leo. And she's like, oh my God, that's it.
And I was like, what's the deal with that? But
I didn't see that. But from what I heard with her energy and her voice, I expected her to just bust through the wall.
Yeah, she was really excited about it. And apparently he's not into the movie Elf. And
because they were talking about Will Ferrell versus, is it Jim Carrey?
Yeah. No. It was
Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler.
Because she totally does not like Will Ferrell at all.
No.
And she doesn't like Elf either.
Because she doesn't like stupid humor.
Yeah,
but she likes Adam Sandler.
Yeah, she did not like Elf.
Oh, I thought she did.
No, so when he said, I don't like Elf, she's like, okay, great, we're good.
Oh, well, I guess they're on the same page then.
I found, she doesn't like Will Ferrell because she finds stupid humor cringe. And I'm like, okay, Adam Sandler has done dramatic stuff, but so has Will Ferrell.
Yeah, they're the masters of doing stupid stuff.
But he is definitely a stupid stuff comedian. He makes stupid stuff movies.
But we're not going to get these book reading sessions. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, no, not. Reading to the family. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, once she finds out he's a Cancer Leo, it's kind of over for Bowden.
It's over. I mean, that conversation, at least what we saw with Ramses, it was a very short freaking date, man. But it was just like Cancer Leo sold. Peace out, Bowden.
Well, we said it last episode because we were all thinking it was going to be Bowden because they haven't shown much of Ramses. It's what they've shown us.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, and then I did say that in the previews prior to that, it showed her and Ramses kind of in the thing. So I was like, I bet she's choosing Ramses because of that.
Well, she said she didn't have that chemistry,
romantic.
Yeah. So I was like, really?
Yeah, she was more friendly.
Because I thought you were more into him, but I
thought
guess
she was
not.
too. She had the romantic chemistry with him.
Yeah. So
Cancer Leo, man.
But Bowden doesn't fight for her either. He's kind of like, okay, well.
He's like, that is so cool, awesome. I'm so happy for you guys.
She came in there to break up with him, so what's he going to say?
He was totally cool with it. That
he
was
got
the
a last
friendliest.
woo!
Yeah, he did. Yeah, right, he did.
That was the friendliest breakup I've ever seen.
I don't know. This is weird. What do we do from here?
I think we leave, probably.
We leave.
All right.
The contrast here for her to go back in, she's like, I ended it with Bowden, and it was great. And then Hannah's like, I tried to end it with Leo, but I didn't.
but these two get together and they seem like really happy that they're hooking up with each other. Like when they meet, they both seem really good with it.
She says he looks like Adonis, which I was like, huh? I was like, okay, but
her Adonis.
Yeah. And then, then he's got his, and I'm not sure what the deal is with his hanging things there, but he's like a Jedi Padawan.
Yeah, he does.
Because Padawan stuff going there. Yeah.
He's got a little shell or something in there. So.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, there's a shell at the end, but.
It's chill vibes. That's what it is. That's right. And that's what he's kind of about. So
he's definitely about it.
Yeah, so moving on to Tim and Alex. They do a little bit of painting, which is kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it was
cool,
I
wanted to go back and look at the painting.
They show the painting. What's funny is he's like, we got like a professional appraiser over here, and he says it's
good.
It's priceless.
He's like, yours is all right, but mine,
And I already got it appraised, and it's priceless. So we have a certified art dealer over here.
And of course, and of course, hers is way better.
Looked like it was painted by like a 5-year-old or something.
Was hers better than his?
Yeah, hers was
much better. So.
Yeah, but they both.
Did they paint the same thing?
Yeah, it was the birds and the bees theme, because they were both talking about birds and bees.
Well, I think she painted one big bee,
and then she had the little birds like this.
The little arches.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought that was cute, and then they swap and share it. Really cute.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
So that was a cool thing.
Yeah,
but like this couple's kind of boring to me, though.
I mean,
in the pods,
but
this is like a real relationship, right?
Right.
So I'm like, it's kind of boring. But I am kind of rooting for these two at the same time.
Yeah.
So
and then we get to see their reveal, and and their reveal was good. I thought. I mean, I think they were into each other, and I think at least there it seemed like they were going to work out really well when I saw it.
I did like that. What did he say? He's like, you fine or something like that.
He's like, I knew it. I knew he was going to be fine.
Yeah. So that was funny.
I knew it. I knew he was fine. I knew it.
So, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. All right.
But what she hates, and he keeps doing it, man, and
the dog.
The dog. He keeps bringing up the dog, giving me the dog, and she's like, stop, and he won't stop with it. I'm like, bro, you probably need to stop.
So at first their interaction, because again, the first time I see them is their reveal, right? And their initial interaction with each other was like, okay, it wasn't that cringe, but then he started doing the dog stuff, and she was like, stop doing the dog stuff. And he kept doing it, and like, he thinks he's being playful, and this totally reminded me of Colin's and Ebb. Like, he's just a goofy guy. He's just having fun. He's just trying to be himself. He refers to him as a dog. It's his own little nickname he gave himself, I guess, maybe, or maybe his friends gave it to him, but
she ain't digging it.
She's not digging it.
Not into
and she's
it.
like, yeah, but like, again, whether or not you think that's childish, that's who he is, and now you're going to try to get him to not be who he is because it annoys you, and that's a problem.
Yeah, people got to be
it
there.
may not be right or wrong. It just ain't for you.
Yeah.
Well, we find out more about that later.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Steven and Monica.
I like them.
I like them.
I like them too. I don't think we see enough of them in the pods. I feel like, you know?
I agree.
I didn't really see that relationship grow too much in the pods.
Yeah, they definitely didn't focus on them as near as much as they did some of the other couples in the pods. But I think they got a really good connection, and we saw that during the reveal, and and we see a lot more of that later on. And so far, I mean, I'm into them as a couple, man. I think they're good.
Well, if I remember correctly, during his proposal, like when they were confessing their love for each other, it wasn't just I love you for the kind person you are. She listed, when she told him what she loved about him, she listed a lot of different attributes that he has that she loved about him. So whereas I didn't see that or hear that relationship grow, you could tell there was layers in their relationship.
She's one of the older people. I think she's 36. He's 33, I think. So they're more on the older side for this show. And she said, like, she used to judge people by their education and their job and stuff. And he's just got, like, I think a trade or an associate's degree, 2-year education, an electrician, former military. Yeah. So that's normally not who she goes for.
No, not at all.
And a lot of people are torn on this couple because of, like, the thing he mentions about being black and playing that up. Maybe some people didn't like that. Yeah. And he calls her a mutt at one point. People thought that was bad. And I don't think he had any ill intent.
No, he didn't, dude. That's like us saying we're mutts. And I'm freaking like English, Irish, Scott. I got all kinds of shit in me. I'm a mutt, And she was just saying that she's got all kinds of stuff in her.
Humanity, we kind of all are.
And most people are mutts at this point, right? So there's nothing wrong with that.
So people are really torn on them. But as of right now, especially in the pods, I'm kind of rooting for them.
Yeah, I really like them. And I loved their meeting and their interaction.
Well, I will say, when they met, like, he is doing very aggressive kissing on her.
He was.
And stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, good Lord, man, let her breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, She didn't want to breathe. She was fine.
They seem really happy with each other at that point.
He gets really happy a lot, evidently. We found out later on the bones, man. She's digging his bones all the time.
I think those were the last two reveals.
I think it was the last two.
Well, we do have Nick and Hannah, though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Nick and Hannah. Yeah, and then they get together.
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, so. And you know, and
now Hannah seems to question some things about his looks, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think everybody questions some things about him.
Okay, first of all, I think he's this season's Megan Fox situation because he said he looked like Henry Cavill, and the more and more I look at him, I keep trying to figure out who he looks like. So if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. It's definitely not Henry Cavill.
And he's not an ugly guy, but he's not like the best looking dude either. He's like average freaking, you know.
But she looks a little bit like Kesha to me. So
yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I
see a little bit of Kesha in her, but I did find it funny that one of her biggest insecurities was her weight and how she looks, especially to him, because like he had come across superficial at first or whatever. And one of the first things off camera, I don't think she does it to him, but that she picks apart is his looks.
That's true.
Yeah, well, she mentions the height, and that comes back around again. And she's like, I think she said she's a foot taller. I'm like, he's actually taller than you.
He's taller than you.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, she's wearing heels.
If you're an inch taller, I think that's fine. Yeah. But she's not taller than him.
No, he's probably like 5'9", 5'10" or something. I mean, she's not taller than him.
Well, and if you're wearing 4-inch heels,
right,
then
exactly.
Sure.
So I thought that was odd for her to say. I feel like she's being a little nitpicky when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't think she's attracted to him.
Yeah. At first.
I think he's fine. I just think he oversold himself. And again, we talked about this last time. Like, it's better to undersell than oversell on looks. And if you're trying to say you're Henry Cavill, you're off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think she thought because he's a football player that he'd be big and bulky. I'm like, he says he's a kicker. What kicker do you know that's like big and bulky?
Exactly. So you can't forget what kickers look like. Right, exactly. Go back and watch football.
Watch any damn weekend. NFL game.
Yeah, you'll see.
Yeah, and at this point, like, he's been doing all the right things for a little bit now, so his stock has been rising.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I'm really liking him at this point.
Yeah, at this point, at least so.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of good. Like, it seems like it's teetering, but she's like, not really what I expected, but she seems into him still.
Right? Yeah, so at this point, all 6 couples seem to match up pretty well, and then we're like, okay, let's see what happens in Cabo, right? I mean, they all seem like they're into each other pretty much, so.
And Cabo, to me, is kind of boring initially.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, not a whole lot going on. Like, from the jump, people are talking and
I was waiting for all those.
He does say something about his brand though. Like, I want people to know about our sex kind of stuff. Keep that between us because I got a brand to worry about. What brand do you got to worry about?
Yeah, that was weird, right?
And I think he was in real estate, so your real estate brand is going to be impacted.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to know what sexcapades your realtor's up to. Come on now.
That's right. But
seriously,
But evidently not everybody was just having a boring time because old Marissa and freaking Ramses, I guess they were freaking hitting it up right off the bat, right? So,
dude, Marissa's, she's hungry for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of begging for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Like, in any setting, she's like, so we can go do this now, right? Like, we're done. Let's go on sex.
Let's go say,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of awkward. Like, they're getting acupuncture, and he's not even really doing it. And she's like, reminds me of boners. And I'm like, what?
Wait,
no, that's a different one.
That was Steve and Monica.
I thought that's who we were talking about.
No, that was Steve and Monica. No, we're talking about Marissa and Ramses.
Oh, yeah, she's really into it.
So. But Monica, too, for sure, was Steven's boners. No doubt about
it. That's true, yeah. It's hard when they're sex-crazed couples to get them confused.
Yeah, but meanwhile, like, what is it? Tyler and Ashley are kind of moving slow on this.
Yeah, and they mentioned that, right? They're probably going to move a little slower, sex-wise and all that stuff, which, and they're both seem to be very Christian people. They're praying together and stuff, so that makes sense. That relationship, that makes sense.
I mean, they say it's been a while, and they don't seem to be in a hurry, and they say how important it is for them to, like, do that with someone. So.
Right, exactly.
And this couple, I think, is the best off, probably.
I
mean, knowing what we know all the way through 6 episodes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And, one last thing, too, when they had the get-together, everybody's saying everybody had sex. It's not really clear on, like, who's really had sex and who hasn't. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, because there was conversations where it was said that, I think somebody said that Garrett and Taylor hadn't had sex. And then at some point in time, all the girls were talking like, we all had sex. So I'm like,
I think Taylor did say they had sex.
Technically, it's none of our business.
Right.
Garrett has to sleep with tape on his mouth.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That shit was hilarious, dude.
Hostage tape or whatever. So.
It's a thing. It's a whole trend. In fact, they actually sell
Scotch tape. Fucking Scotch tape.
Yeah, they actually sell mouth
hostage tape. That's Scotch tape, bro. What are you talking about?
They actually sell like tape specifically for that.
And then she's like, "I'm sorry, I wasted all your Scotch tape." When at the end, I was like.
What do we think about those
dude,
two?
At this point, I love them, man. They're just goofy together.
Yeah.
They have fun together. It's good. But the funny thing is, they're out on the beach talking, and Homeboy's like, yeah, and he didn't use the word podunk. Basically said, I'm a small town boy from Podunk, Fredericksburg, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, we live in this area. Fredericksburg ain't freaking Podunk, man. There's a saying in Fredericksburg that it takes an hour to get anywhere into Fredericksburg because traffic's so freaking bad here. Because all the people who live in D.C. an hour or work in D.C. an hour away can't afford to live there, so they all live in Fredericksburg.
Well, Alex is hating on Tim's style. Like, he's trying to find a hat, but Alex ain't digging any of them.
Yeah.
Dude, she ain't digging his dog stuff. She ain't digging his style. She just like,
this is Zen
What is she liking about this guy,
Zen and Cole
it's building up. It's building up.
No, she does not like anything about him.
No.
She's very critical.
Oh, yeah, very.
And, I mean, he's rolling with it for now, but it's starting to add up, I think.
Oh, yeah.
But,
that's definitely adding up with it.
And he's said early on, I remember hearing him say it, not seeing him say it, that he doesn't like to argue over little stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, he's like, I'm not about that.
He acts like he's super chill, but I'm like, I don't know.
No, you can tell.
I don't know.
No, I don't
that
think
means you prefer that, but I don't know if you're chill.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But Hannah and Nick are just chilling on some tables, and he's like, I'm gonna go ride that duck or whatever. And
who doesn't want to ride a duck from time to time?
Want to ride his duck, man. I was like,
he gets on this duck.
She's like, don't do it.
Yeah, he gets on this duck, and some random chick just gets on the duck and like, you want to race?
Yeah.
It's very awkward.
Oh, it was, dude. Yeah, some older lady comes up next to him, and he's like, hell yeah, let's do it. Come on, let's go. Let's race.
So what's funny is later on when he's telling the guys the story, he says she's like in her 60s or something.
She was
like,
hot.
she was probably like 30, 40. Like, I don't think she was that old.
No, she was older. Like, she was definitely
I don't know
older.
if she was in the 60s.
They didn't really zoom in on her either to like know.
I think she was probably like in her 40s.
I'd say she was at least in her 50s. She was older.
But anyways, it's very awkward. He's being very flirtatious, and Hannah's just sitting there like, what in the world is happening?
But he's not flirting with this girl.
Super flirty, yeah.
He wasn't flirting with her.
He's kind of entertaining.
No.
Like, it's very awkward.
No.
It's very
I'll say it was awkward for Hannah, but at the same time, I don't think he was being really flirty with her.
I don't think Hannah made it awkward, if you ask me.
Well,
that's who he was. He's being playful. He's being goofy about it. This person joins in. The only thing that she has the leg to stand on in her argument about it
is the jealous stuff.
The woman yells out that, she's jealous.
She's egging her out. Like, oh, look at Miss Jealous over there.
And he just kind of laughed at it. He didn't, and he should have been like, yo, that's my girl. Don't you worry about this. Like, he should have been a little more like affirmative to her at that point. But
I get her argument there.
That's the only thing that I think he could have done.
I mean, you could just look at her body language. She's not digging what's going on.
Right.
He doesn't reassure her. And this is part of the problem, right? He's just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
To hell with what anyone thinks.
Exactly. And he didn't even really like apologize to her for it or anything.
Yeah, no, he doubles down if anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, and
you don't like my duck?
And I don't really, like I said, the only thing I can fault him for is that when the woman made the comment, he should have been a little more like, yo, that's the love of my life right there or something. You know what I mean?
And the other thing he should have done when she was telling him about it, look, here's how I feel about it. He should be like, you know what, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was going to make you feel that bad. Yada, yada. But he didn't. He was like, well, I don't give a shit.
No.
I
actually disagree. If he wanted to ride the duck and she didn't want him to ride the duck.
I'm talking about the female situation.
Yeah. Okay, the female situation.
It's more than the duck, situation.
But the duck is still the problem for her. There's the woman, but there's also the duck.
Not really the problem.
She did not like it. It gave her the
duck's
it was immature, but who cares? But the woman is the problem. She's like,
you're right. It shouldn't care.
The woman's the problem.
She cared before the woman came over. She cared about the ducks.
She was just a little annoyed with it, but when that woman came, it went to a different level.
Exactly.
It went to a whole different. Well, she's probably like, this guy's immature, but she's really immature. So it's like,
exactly.
I don't know. And these two are the youngest two here, so But then they all meet up.
Yep.
So, and this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, because the guys all get grilled, man. Somewhat.
I know they're like interrogating the guys.
Start with
like,
Nick.
This is kind of messed
What's
up.
funny is they start with Nick and they just keep shining the light on it. They don't really ask him a question though. Like they never really actually interrogated him.
They were all
about
just so
anything.
interested in to see what he really looked like. That's what all the women wanted to do. And freaking which one was it? Monica was like, I was expecting Nick D to be super hot, and she's like, he's cute.
But yeah, they don't really interrogate him or even, I don't think they even ask him a question. And it's more Hannah on the side. She's like, I love that man. I love him. Like, she's almost, I think, afraid to hear what his answers are if they ask him questions.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think she kind of jokes it off.
Nick is a loose cannon, for sure.
Absolutely.
You put him in a certain environment, you don't know what that man will do. So. You got to have a tight leash on that guy, and he won't be leashed. So.
No, he won't.
That's a brewing problem for sure.
Oh, exactly.
I'm just waiting. This is a train wreck relationship.
Because prior to that meeting, man, when they were just like hanging out in the pool together, everything was good. They were being flirty and lovey, and evidently they had sex because they both talked about it, even though they didn't have sex, right? But so everything was good until then, man. You know, at that point when they got there, it was like,
this guy's just looking to have a good time and probably be on TV or something. That's the vibe I'm getting from him. You know what I mean? He was like building back up to me, but like this whole thing, I'm like, he don't care about this relationship.
I just think he needs a really laid back person to be with.
Yeah, he needs somebody who's chill, who's not jealous and doesn't give a shit and just like whatever.
And she has a lot of insecurities. She's not as laid back. I don't know. It's obviously not going to work. I'm calling that.
Well, like with her insecurities, it ain't working for sure.
Yeah.
Like, because that's going to always be brought up as she sees this guy's shenanigans.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then when they're done with Nick, they start bringing in all the other guys. You know.
Yeah, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
If I was a guy, I'd feel very awkward. I'm like, I don't need to be judged and interrogated by you. But
when Tim's sitting over there, like, don't do it, guys. Hold on.
And then they said, well, you want to get some sex, you need to come over, and then they rush over there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they get up and go over.
We got middle class Captain America here.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought that was kind of funny because I could see that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Now I could see him looking. Yeah.
And some people,
and then he's like, well, maybe lower middle class.
And some people about the drama, like Ramses and Marissa talk about like all the drama with people and what the chances are. Some people, they're like, what do you give these people and stuff. So
and he was like, Hannah and Nick, I got 7.5.
But their other concerned relationship would be Tim and Alex, and
they did say that,
and I see it, man.
Right.
They get to them, and apparently there was an argument, which I don't know why we don't get to see it.
It was so stupid,
but apparently it's pretty bad. And like Tim's like, this is like a red line for me. Like, you're covering my mouth, all this kind of stuff.
He's like, I came in here ready to be. This is the last time for me to talk to you, and I was like, damn, it must have been a really bad argument.
Well, they start with her just sitting on the couch, and there's a knock on the door, and I'm like,
I knew it was
and then
Tim,
he comes in. And I was like, so they were not together last night. That's obvious. Like, so I was thinking while they were recapping and apologizing or doing whatever they were going to do to resolve whatever this was, we were going to get some clips from this.
I was hoping.
But no.
I wonder why they chose not to show that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But they should have.
Yeah.
They should have showed us something with it. Because, I mean,
unless they did it behind cameras, I don't know. There's cameras
that's
everywhere.
a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
they caught the cutie thing with Zeneb and Cole.
Exactly, I'm sure the cameras caught this.
This is a major setback for this couple, and I don't even know if they're going to get past
I don't think they're going to get past it.
And
he's
Tim's
like, this
done.
is day 2, and like he's like, you can't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, come cuddle with me. He's like, nah, man, I prefer not to.
Honestly, like in that, so they first have the conversation about it, and they kind of each say, well, I shouldn't have done this. And he's like, yeah, I didn't like it when you did that, and maybe I shouldn't have done this. But mainly it's all about whatever she did, she handled it really poorly. And
well, you can't cover my man's mouth. Come on now.
So then when it's like kind of calm and quiet, when she asks him to come here, like whatever, and he says, I'm not comfortable with that. And then she scoots closer to him, and he just kind of like, she like hugs on him and everything, and he's just kind of like there and doesn't react to it. So she's not respecting his space. Also, I don't like the fact that she was apparently in the wrong in this argument.
Yeah, right.
At least the
Seems
majority
like
of it. Like, and she asks him to come over there and cuddle her because she needs this comfort and physical contact. Like, you're in the wrong. You go get it. Don't make him come.
Well, I think she just wanted a reassurance from him. She said, look, I really I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to leave, you know. And the thing is, because he even told her, he's like, look, you know, that argument last night, he's like, I even tried walking away, distancing myself from it. He's like, and that wasn't good enough for you. He's like, if I tried to talk, you cover my mouth. If I tried to walk away, you know, we couldn't do it that way. And he was like, so.
And what's funny is her excuse and reasoning for her behavior was that she just didn't want to talk.
She was homesick. And then she said, like,
she was homesick. She just didn't want to be around anyone or talk with anyone. So why wouldn't you let him leave? Like, why?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I get it. Everyone
it
gets
weird,
in their mood, but like, and maybe some people are getting too comfortable too quick. So like, some people will deal with your mood, but when they first meet you and you're going through that initial phase, they're like, I'm out of this.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, like this is a major issue.
Well, if you're willing to, like, obviously he felt like he was treated wrong, and if she's willing to treat him that way on day 2,
yeah.
like,
well, I mean, they started off having a very mature conversation in the beginning, but like he just it impacted him quite a bit. And
we're gonna shut down at this point. It seemed like.
Yeah, and I do think she maybe got a little too comfortable with that, and like again, as people start, everything's all great at first with all these things, but as real life starts to seep in, that's when it becomes an issue.
Well, and I think he may also play back in his mind, like, clearly she was trying to have the power in that whatever that situation is. She didn't want him to walk away. She didn't want him to talk.
Couldn't have the hat he wanted.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Can't say dog.
And he's probably saying that. He's like, she didn't like the hat I chose. She doesn't like me saying dog. Like, I feel like I can't be myself. And I think he even said that. I can't be myself around you.
So cracks are starting to form, and additional cracks are forming with Steven
another
and
person,
Monica.
Another conversation talking. Yeah.
He's just blabbing away, and she's just kind of like, can you be quiet?
Shut your damn mouth, Steven.
You're doing it again.
And he's like, oh, no.
He's like, I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. So he's like, started stuffing his face with food.
He's just like, ow.
He's like, I just got to eat all these chips, I guess.
But the strange thing is she doesn't like talk at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, all right, you talk. And then she's just like...
And then I think she realizes how awkward it is, and there's cameras there, so she's like, and to make it like unawkward, like we're still good, right? And it's like that was a red flag.
Oh, yeah,
that was a red flag.
But I don't think he saw it as a red flag.
I think he is a little oblivious to it, but
But I feel like he definitely wouldn't have seen it, and we probably wouldn't have seen it as a red flag had she started talking, because it sounded to me like she literally asked him a question and he answered it, but it goes around this long about way of answering it, and
he did rambling,
right, and then didn't give her a chance to talk, but then she didn't talk.
Here's the thing, though. You're on day 2 and you're already tired of someone's rambling.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? That's not a good thing.
And his response to her. This ain't the first time she's brought it up to him, because he was like, "Oh, you're right, babe." You know, so
it probably happened in the pods.
Because all it does is sort of.
I love you to death. I'm obsessed with
I might be chatty again.
Literally cannot get a word in.
So I'm wondering, she's 36. I wonder if she's just a very picky person. Probably. And right now, you don't see a whole lot of that because, again, they're in their initial phase. But, maybe she's going to be very picky down the line. And that's going to be too much for someone like him. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm...
I don't know. I really like these people together. I really like them. So, I hope...
I do like them as a couple, but I don't think they're going to last at this point.
I don't know.
Because, and she even said, flat out, like, he is not her original type at all. Like, looks-wise, his education, his job,
so
nothing
right now
about
you're
him.
enamored with the pods and that emotional thing.
Nothing
but real
about
life
him
is
what she would normally
in.
go for.
Wow.
Yeah.
The real world.
The
hits
real
them every
world.
time.
Oh, yeah. But, oh, man.
Yeah, so we're forgetting anybody else here? Any moments?
No, there was. I think the only couple who we really didn't see any freaking kind of tension with so far. Well, 2. There was, Taylor and Garrett. There's really no tension yet, and Tyler and Ashley. There's really no tension yet, right? From what we've seen. But
we see the Taylor and Garrett tension in the
previews. In the previews, it's looking like everything goes to shit for everybody, damn near. And I was like, holy crap.
And I'm like, I hate this though, because I almost didn't even want to watch the previews because they ruin it for me every time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they try and build like false drama in there too.
Yeah.
Like it could just be a simple conversation and then it's over or whatever.
But what didn't seem like false drama was when freaking Garrett, when he's like, oh yeah, my ex texted me, and she's like, and you texted her back, and he was like, I'm out of here. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
All right, so what are the predictions? What's the early predictions here?
Dude, at this point, I don't know. I still think Tyler and Ashley are going to work.
Yeah, hold on. Ignore the previews. Just from what we've seen.
Okay, just from what we've seen, I think Tyler and Ashley are going to work. From what we've seen, I would have said Garrett and freaking Taylor are going to work prior to the previews, right?
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
The rest of them at this point to me are kind of up in the air because they've all had some, type of issue, I think, right?
Well, what about
Ramses
Marissa? Yeah.
Oh, Marissa and Ramses. No, they're good too.
Ramses,
you're right. Yeah, no, they're good too right now at this point. Those 3 couples. The other 3 couples have had some issues, so... Yeah, but
you think that thing with Steven and Monica is too much?
They're in the middle.
You see it.
I think that's just building on for more bad to come.
I think that was a big red flag.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think they're in the middle. So there's like the 3 you just listed. They're a yes.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a no.
And
then Steven
Nick,
and Monica right there on the edge.
Hard no.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think the first 3 are like I said, they're good up until previews.
Do you think Tim and Alex recover enough to go into the 3-week trial period?
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you think Hannah and Nick make it through the 3-month trial period?
I don't think Hannah and Nick made it through. I think they try it, but I don't think they
Now,
make
we
it
do
through.
get a little tease of Bowden coming back.
Yeah, we do.
Do you think...
Apparently, which I didn't know.
Yeah, do you think that's going to entice Marissa?
I don't know. I mean, you saw Ramses looked a little pissed off, that she was talking to Bowden, which I don't know why, because you and Bowden are boys, right? So,
yeah.
But there must have been something going on there that he wasn't liking, so...
Yeah, I mean, she's really into him, so I would surprise me if she gave up on that, but you never know.
Yeah, guess we'll find out.
And I don't think there's really any other, like, triangles or anything else to be concerned about, right?
No, because Leo's gone now, so that one's,
that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. It was, dude. I'm going to tell you, that was all freaking Brittany, dude. She was like,
can Leo and Brittany come to, like, the little get-togethers that they have during their 3-week periods? I need to see that.
That would be cool. We see them at some point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need all the girls to look at Leo and go, really?
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Really?
I'm sure they've all, once they get to the real world, you guarantee they're all going on Facebook and Instagram and shit, and they're freaking looking them all up.
Yeah.
So. But, yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the first 6 episodes down. I wouldn't say it's as exciting as some of the past seasons have been, but there's been some moments.
I thought the UK is a little bit better to this point, but I'm hoping this one comes alive.
But again, man, the previews make it look like all hell's going to break loose in the next couple episodes, so I'm looking forward to that.
We'll see.
Hey guys, as always, let us know your thoughts on this. Maybe you saw some stuff differently than we did, and just hit us up on there. We'll chat with you guys. I think we've had a decent amount of conversation on this episode, so we're looking forward to some more. And as always, we'll check you guys in our next review.